I want to talk about something today, which is that it seems like throughout your life, you have moments of clarity and moments of indecision and feeling lost, and they seem to kind of oscillate and cycle between the two in the sense that you have periods in your life where you feel strongly about where you're headed and what you want to do and what your purpose is and where you're going. And then you also have periods where you know none of that and you feel kind of in a fog almost. And you're not quite sure where you're headed. You're not quite sure what your purpose is or if you even enjoy doing the job you're doing at the moment. And it's just kind of an interesting thing that I think we all go through. And I'm not even sure if there's anything to really say about it, just that it happens. And I guess recently I've felt that I'm kind of in a period where I'm more in like the feeling lost than feeling sure. And it's harder to navigate because when you know your purpose and you feel connected to your purpose and you kind of are on your path, it's so easy to just keep walking forwards. But when that suddenly becomes overgrown and a kind of forest covers up that path, it becomes a lot harder to move forward and to continue on. And I've been feeling like that recently, and I'm not quite sure what to do, if I should like take time and stop and reflect, or if I should just keep going down the path I've been going. I guess it's kind of naive to think you can have some sort of mission and stick to it for years and years and years. I think eventually any idea or concept or ideal you have will eventually lose its potency, and you have to be willing to give up these lofty ideals and these ideas in your mind that you have for where you want to go or the person that you are, and ultimately just kind of give in to the ever-changing nature of human existence. But I don't know, I've definitely been feeling that right now, and I feel a lot of fear and hesitancy and doubt about like the new direction the channel's headed in, even though I feel that I know that's where I want to go, and I know that ultimately I would burn out if I just continued to make the ASMR videos. I enjoyed making them, but at the end of the day, it's just not kind of what I want to be making. So I know that, but in terms of like what now to make, I don't quite know yet. And I'm feeling, or I'm questioning kind of whether I should even make videos, because at the end of the day, I'm not a therapist. I don't have a degree. I'm just a person who's just talking. And maybe I don't have anything to say of worth that's useful. Or at least that's what part of me is telling the other part. And so I'm kind of caught knowing that I don't want to do what I was doing, knowing that I have to do something else, but not knowing what that something else exactly is. I know I have this mission of I want to help people, I want to connect with people, I want to, or I'm interested in humans and human behavior and talking about psychology and the things that we experience, but I don't quite know what to turn it into. I have this energy and I don't know quite what to create. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And it's within this period of non-clarity, of indecision or fogginess, in which I know that's my mission, but sometimes I feel not quite as connected to it as I wish I were. I wish I could get up every day and say, like, I'm going to help people, and like every single interaction I have, I'm going to, be positive and be kind and make people's day, but sometimes I just don't have those days, and I don't feel like helping people. Some days I just feel like, taking care of myself. Like, that's all I can do. Like, that's all I have the strength to do that day, is just take care of myself. And I think that's healthy. I think we have days where we do just need to kind of take care of ourselves and like set a good boundary and focus on ourselves. So I don't think that's a problem, but that's just kind of something that's also been happening recently, is I think you always have to be kind of watching how much you're giving and how much you're allowing yourself to receive and how much you're caring for yourself, because you can give too much, and you can kind of not receive as much as you could. I think that's also something I'm working on, is kind of receiving more as well as trying to give more. But I feel like this is decent, and these are the type of videos that I do want to make, almost kind of like confessional in a way. But at the end of the day, I'm not even sure if they're worth listening to or worth watching, or if it's even quality content. But I guess that's not really for me to decide. I guess this is just kind of letting you know that, like, if you feel like you are lost and you don't have it figured out, or you don't know what your mission is, or you're feeling disconnected from a mission, that you're definitely not the only one who's going through that right now, especially right now during quarantine. I'm also going through it, and it comes and goes. I think you can have good days and you can have bad days, and I think expecting good days every day is too much to ask. So yeah, I guess some people had kind of requested talking about like kind of quarantine and maybe feelings during quarantine, and I feel like that may definitely be one of them, which is just this not knowing where you're gonna head, where you're going, what you're gonna be doing in 5 years or even 1 year. And it can be very frustrating or debilitating, or paralyzing maybe is the word. It can kind of paralyze you and make you feel like you're stuck and you're not making progress. And I feel like in this society, with everyone like trying to sprint at breakneck speed, when you feel stuck, it can feel horrible, because it feels like everyone's racing ahead and you're stuck in the mud just wallowing. But I think it's important to know that a lot of people are feeling that right now. I'm definitely feeling it right now, and I think I'm not sure what the best thing to do is. I guess the best thing is just to be, I guess it really is always just to be gentle with yourself. It's like you catch more flies with honey. Kind of similar, is like you can kick and scream and, whip yourself, but at the end of the day, like, the bear's gonna do what the bear's gonna do. You can't control how you feel. We can't control what happens to us. We can control very little. I think we can really only control our reaction to things and how we react to things. I think I just said that twice. And so it's almost like you have a choice, but you can be hard on yourself or you can be gentle with yourself, but at the end of the day, I think the outcome is ultimately going to be the same. You're going to reach a state of clarity or epiphany, I think, from both, if you just give it time. So ultimately, I guess I would say then, if you have the choice, you might as well prefer to be gentle with yourself. But of course, I'm like never gentle with myself, so that's something I have to work on, because I'm always like whipping myself, and especially right now, it's like I'm in this foggy state. I'm in this murky, kind of muddy, in these muddy waters, and I'm lashing myself to like get out of them and to get back on the horse. But maybe there's something to be learned, or there's something to be experienced in this phase. And so rather than rushing to get out of it, maybe I need to instead ask maybe why I've been put into it. Because maybe there's something in it. Maybe there's value in this. Maybe even just the making of this video, which has arisen because of the feeling of how I'm feeling. But yeah, I feel like this is probably relatable, and probably common, kind of just, I think, well, in life in general, but also especially because of the quarantine right now, in which it probably feels more like the latter of the oscillations that I was kind of talking about, in terms of more of a state of questioning and uncertainty than confidence and foresight or knowledge. And yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I don't really have anything to help, which is kind of weird. But in a sense, like, nobody really does. Like, this YouTube channel isn't going to be like, I don't have like the trick. I don't have the thing, I'm mostly just going to like question things and talk about things, and it's mostly just going to be talking about like questions than giving answers. But at the end of the day, I think that is kind of like the only thing you really can do, because at the end of the day, the answer is going to come from within you after hearing the questions or hearing someone else speak. Ultimately, the answer always comes individually from within. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit of being gentle with yourself, a little bit of asking yourself, or kind of the universe, or kind of pondering why you may be in this phase, maybe what you've forgotten or what needs to be rediscovered. Maybe, instead of trying to run from this kind of cave, you need to actually like look around and explore and see like what is in these muddy waters. But that's kind of all I have. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, maybe these will be the type, maybe these are the only videos that I can make, are ones where I'm very like unsure of the concept I'm speaking about, because I began this and I was like gonna make a video about like fear of intimacy or like stress management, but then I was like, wait a second, I don't know how to manage my stress well. Like I don't really have like tips. I don't know. I'm not gonna make it like 5 tips to manage your stress. And like fear of intimacy, like that's a huge thing. I don't really know much about it, except that I have it. except that I desire, but deeply fear intimacy. But those are probably going to be the style of the videos that are going to come out. So this one, I guess, is talking about kind of the 2 phases we seem to go through in life: knowledge and uncertainty, and kind of more focusing on the kind of latter, uncertainty, and probably because it's so prevalent right now. And so if you're feeling that way, just know that you're not alone. I think that's just it's like so huge to remind yourself. I think sometimes we get in such a panic that we're not perfect and that we we're not being successful or we're not succeeding and we're falling behind. But if you can just remind yourself, like, oh, it's literally not just me. It's like an entire country. It's like an entire population of people who are all feeling this way. I think it can just really like set your mind at rest, because really right now there's not a lot of people who are like, sprinting ahead and breaking new ground. We're all kind of in a bit of a purgatory wait. And so you have company. you're you're not alone. And hey, even me, I'm a mess. I'm a huge mess. If you think I've got it all together, that's a lie. I'm flattered, but it couldn't be further from the truth. But hey, yes, we're a mess, but at least we have each other. And if we can just come together, and communicate and talk and exchange views and exchange support and offer a hand, or an ear, to listen, I feel that we can all kind of help get each other out of our own messes communally. But yeah, I think it's about banding together and not tackling your problems purely on your own. Becoming comfortable, accepting help, and then in exchange helping others. But yeah. So yeah, that's my little rant. And I hope you're good. Thanks for listening. If you've gotten all the way to the end, thank you. I will see you again.